G'day, Mal James here and welcome to Market in a Minute, 1st of June 2019. So the 100 auction test is now completed and all the results are in James Market News. But let's talk a bit more big picture. Let's talk about the market and where it's going now. Let's talk about bid demand, which is demand. Let's talk about clearance rates, which is sort of agreement between demand and supply. And then let's talk about supply, which is stock. Does that make sense? I hope so. So in 2014, 2015, 2016, price really started to take off. And at that stage, bid demand was in the threes, stock was in a couple of hundred and through the roof, and clearance rates were in the 80s, occasionally the 90s, always in the high 70s as an absolute minimum. And those sort of indications showed why price was going up. Then in 2018, we started to see some changes. Clearance rates started to move down into the sort of low 60s. Stock levels, although remained fairly normal, and bid demand dropped from threes into sort of, well, basically into under two. And that's why we started to see a little bit of drifting down. Bid demand was giving us the forecast. We knew that the market pricing was starting to drop because the demand was dropping off. Now, in 2019, this is where we've seen prices go. They really, as they say, have fallen off the cliff. However, the last couple of weeks, well, they feel like they've been a bit more positive than what they were before. In fact, they have been. But I'm not so sure that's much more than what I think they say in the stock market terms, a dead cat bounce. Why? Because although clearance rates have sort of gone from basically here to up into around here, stock levels are right down as low as I've ever seen. They're at sort of pre-GFC times. And bid demand, although with such stock levels and the clearance rate here, you would expect bid demand to be sort of up into here. Because why? There's not as much stock, clearance rates are improving, that means people are actually fighting for it, but we're not seeing that. What we're seeing is bid demand is still relatively cool. It's just limping into the okay stage. And until bid demand, which is the demand component, starts to get back up here on these low stock levels, I'm not so sure that we're in for a big long-term improvement. We won't know until spring exactly what's happening when we start to see, hopefully, stock levels picking up, and then if clearance rates are picking up and bid demand's picking up, then I think we can say that the market is improving.